My name is Magdalena Cerdá, and I'm the director of the NYU Center for Opioid Epidemiology and Policy, and I'm also an associate professor at NYU Langone Health. Today I'm going to be talking about a study my colleagues and I did looking at the impact of state-level prescription drug monitoring programs on fatal prescription opioid-related overdoses. Opioid overdoses have more than quadrupled since 1999. Prescription drug monitoring programs, or PDMPs, are one of the leading state-level responses to this problem. PDMPs are state-level databases that collect information on prescriptions. Authorized users, such as prescribers and pharmacists, can access this data to track and tailor prescribing patterns according to the patient's prior prescription history. Prior evidence on the impact of PDMPs on prescription opioid overdoses is largely inconsistent and has not adequately accounted for the substantial heterogeneity that there is in the types of PDMPs adopted by different states. To address these issues, in this study we examined changes in fatal prescription opioid overdoses following first enactment of any type of PDMP, but then second and most importantly, following enactment of proactive PDMPs, which are those that are more likely to send alerts to PDMP users about outlying prescribing and dispensing patterns, and to provide broader access to PDMP data by users. In order to do the study, we used Bayesian space-time models to compare changes in overdose deaths in counties and states that had enacted different types of PDMPs from 2002 to 2016. We found that adoption of electronic PDMP access was associated with a 9% reduction in fatal prescription opioid overdose deaths after 3 years. Further, compared to states with no or weak PDMPs, the adoption of proactive PDMPs was associated particularly with fewer deaths attributable to natural and semi-synthetic opioids like oxycodone or hydrocodone, and deaths related to methadone overdoses. Unintended effects were found for synthetic opioids other than methadone. Some limitations of this study include the reliance on ICD coding of death certificate data, the reliance only on fatal overdoses, and the lack of information on potential mechanisms that might explain the association between enactment of proactive PDMPs and fatal prescription opioid overdose deaths. In this study, in conclusion, we found that while state adoption of PDMPs was associated with fewer prescription opioid overdose deaths overall, proactive PDMPs were the ones that were associated with fewer deaths related to natural and semi-synthetic opioids and to methadone, which were again the specific targets of these programs. This work suggests that important components of successful PDMP programs would include providing PDMPs with the resources to proactively identify and notify users about outlying prescribing, dispensing, and use patterns, and to provide broader access to PDMP data by users. Thank you so much for listening today.